Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. And before we get started, please subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up, and hit that post notification button so you know when I post another video. So let's get to it. All right guys, before we get into this video, I wanted to basically give you guys some feedback off of my YouTube channel. Let's just say I started YouTube a few months ago. Honestly, I did not take it seriously. I was like, okay, YouTube is YouTube. I'm not going to get, a lot of subscribers. No. But sometimes I was just like, I'm not going to go into this wanting followers. I'm not going to go into this wanting subscribers, getting famous. That's not what I want. I feel like me doing this is just putting my life out there, telling you guys my experience, what I've been through. A lot of people behind this camera can relate to what I go through or went through. So it's I came to the conclusion that I'm going to use this channel as a virtual diary where I'm basically talking to you guys about my life experience, what I've been through or what I'm still going through or vice versa or whatever. Because a lot of people can relate. So I feel I know it's all good and dandy. A lot of people use YouTube for vacations, vlogs, and all that good stuff like that, which is perfectly fine. That's fine. But for me, it's I want to make it one of my vent session. I'm venting to you, the people, or I'll just be here by myself, just venting out loud. And like I said, a lot of people can relate. But if you guys do want to see more of me traveling and me, doing other things, by all means, let me know. I don't have a problem with doing that. But my main reason of doing this is kind of just have a little virtual diary on YouTube. Because sometimes just speaking out loud how you feel make you feel 10 times better. So it's kind of you never know who you're talking to. You never know who can relate. So I just want to put that out there. But before we get to this video, as you guys can see at the title, I'm going to be basically talking about my life experience, with depression, anxiety, insecurity, weight loss, weight gain, everything that I felt low in my life, I'm going to be talking about because I feel it's really important because some people tend to just can't talk about it. And it's just stuck in them to the point where they get to that breaking point. They just spaz. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Let me stop talking now, but let's get to the video. All right, guys. So I just want to start off by talking about my experience when it came to insecurity. My insecurity started to happen freshman year of high school. When you go into high school, you fresh, you get out of middle school, you're getting a little grown up now or whatever. Your body's changing and everything like that. You're going to meet new people. You know what I'm saying? So it's when I got into high school, I was skinny. I was really, really skinny. A twig. I was not the way I am today. I was a twig. So it's kind of going into high school, you see different type of females, bigger boobs, bigger thighs, bigger butts. And it's just oh my God, why don't I have that? So it's kind of at one point in time, I don't care. I don't want to look like that. I'm just going to be me. But then, you come across certain people, they just tease you and they just why do you look like that? I don't want you because of this. I don't want you because of that. And then that's when my insecurity started to happen. Also, my insecurity started to happen when I got my first boyfriend in high school, and it's just I got cheated on, and he cheated on me with another female who was bigger up here, bigger down there, and that's why I'm oh dang, I'm not good enough. So it's kind of I went to the point in my life where I'm dang, all guys want was a bigger boob girl or bigger butt or bigger thighs. So my insecurity went from freshman year probably to I want to say, honestly, college. Because, majority of my relationships, I got cheated on or I got played with. A lot of betrayal happened in most of my relationships. And it's kind of I slap in the face for real because I wear my heart on my sleeve to the point where, I give you my last. I give you my last, you feel me? If you don't have it, I got you. That's just how I am as a person. And some people usually take advantage of people like that. But it's but it's in my past. I moved on from it, but blase. So that's when my insecurity started. Today, at 23 years old, so that was 14 to 23. That's a couple years. So I'm 23 years old. My insecurities are gone. Because I used to feel if I don't have enough of this, if I ain't have enough of this, I won't get a man or I won't feel sexy. I won't feel beautiful. But once I started getting time to myself, I have a relationship for I'll say a few months. I didn't have a relationship, but that gave me time to like know my body and know me. So it's kind of like, it made me just think like, you need to love you for you regardless. Like, it don't matter who say what, like, it doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, this is you. You have to love you. How you want to love what you have and what God created before you love someone else? So I really had to sit back and think like, dang, like, if a man don't love me for what I got, that man's not for me. That's when I start realizing, like, probably like when I turned 21, 22-ish, I started learning that a little bit more. And again, I'm still young, so I still was learning a lot about myself. Like, I'm only in my early 20s. I'm still have years to learn multiple things. So it's just that I started learning a lot, like, about my body and myself, which is a really good thing some people don't know about. Once you have that moment where you just like learn about yourself, you will learn so much, and it's insane. But yeah, that's really my journey about insecurity. Let's go into depression and anxiety. So more of that came from, honestly, family issues, I can say, and also some relationships, because of the fact that, like I told you, when it came to my insecurity, not feeling like I'm enough and not feeling like, you know, just not feeling like myself, that's when my depression and anxiety started to kick up a little bit. And then my family, you know, no family's perfect. You feel me? So it's kind of like you sometimes you get that family who's supportive, who's there for you, but at the same time they're like, okay, whatever type of attitude. They're like half and half. So it's kind of like you get the good side, but at the end of the day you get like the side. So it's kind of like, as a young kid, you're just like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to just continue on being a kid. But at the same time, as you grow up, you just like, okay, why are my parents not saying this? Why are my parents not saying that? I'm not good enough. Am I not doing enough? Like, you just start thinking all these things in your mind. Mind you, I'm an overthinker. So I have a lot of thoughts in my brain 24/7. Like, being an overthinker can be a bad thing and a good thing. It depends on the situation. But me, I overthink 24/7. Some people think it's a bad thing. Like, you always overthink. Stop thinking like that. But it's just who I am. It's just who I am. But like, my depression, my anxiety gets to the point where like I start isolating myself. I don't want to be bothered by anyone. Lock myself in my room. I just was just like, I can't deal with this anymore. Like, forget it. Like, no, leave me alone. My whole attitude changed. And it's just like, feeling like you're not enough and feeling like no one really cares about what you're doing, your accomplishments. Like, it's like a lot of people dwell on when you fail. A lot of people dwell on when you fail, but when you go from failing and you start climbing that ladder to get to where you need to be in life, I mean, what you did in the past is in the past. Let that stay down there. You feel what I'm saying? Let it stay down there. But then, like, when you start forgetting about it yourself and you start, like, you know, improving for yourself, everyone always end up going back down here for some reason. Like, you really don't have a lot of people who be like, oh, congratulations, good job. You was down here, but you up here now. What I say is, it don't matter who you are in the past, it's how you got there. That's my saying. You could have been a felon. You could have been a criminal. You could have did something so bad in your past, but it doesn't matter because it's in your past. And what matters is where you are now. And honestly, as young women and young men, sometimes when we grow up in that little atmosphere with family, relationship, friendships, that shit carries over to when you're an adult. Some people don't understand that. Like, if you went through depression, anxiety, insecurity, self-esteem, all of that in one, going into like high school, college, all that carries to when you're an adult, because it's just like, it mentally messes you up so bad. And I experienced that to the point where like I lost myself. I literally lost myself as a person. Like, who am I? Like, what is my purpose? I'm not saying that my past is perfect. Hell no, no one's perfect. No one's perfect. Like, I can say that 100 times. No one is perfect. So when I look back at what the stuff I did in the past and things that happened to me in the past and where I am now, it's only the beginning for me. Because like, for you to succeed, you have to fail. Let me say it again. For you to succeed, you have to fail. You have to come across people who are going to tell you, no, you can't do it. Absolutely not. You're never going to make it. You have to come across people like that to help you get to where you are. And sometimes you have to grow out of that depression, anxiety, self-esteem, insecurity. It takes time. Don't get me wrong. It takes time. It took me, 14 to 23? That's a couple years. And I'm still working on it to this day. I'm not going to say that I'm done with it, but it's way better than when I was back then. I grew out of it a while. It took me a minute, but I feel stronger. I feel more confident. I feel more sexy. I feel more beautiful. I don't care what people say about me as much as I used to. I don't really care to I just don't care anymore, because I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I used to care so much what people think about me, but I thought about it why do I care about what you think? Because you're not perfect either, boo. That's how I see it as. You're not perfect either. So, and honestly, I'm the type of person where I'm really blunt. I say how I feel at that moment, depending on the circumstances. I say how I feel at that moment because I can't hold things in. Because that's the one thing that also messes up my depression, anxiety. I'm the type to hold in a lot of baggage. I hold in a lot of baggage to a point where it builds up and build and build and build to the point where I explode. That's something I had to work on, because my depression and my anxiety made me shut down. It made me shut down to the point where I didn't want to talk to anybody. I told you guys before, a few minutes ago, I didn't want to talk to anyone. I shut down so bad, I just let it all build up. I got up the next day, still feeling the way I felt the previous day, but kept my day going. And I just felt I can't do it. But then that's when I started to learn, Imani, you have to say how you feel. You have to say how you feel, or it's not good for your mental or your physical. People just think mostly about mental, but it messes up your physical appearance as well. Just having that anxiety attacks, depression attacks, all of that built up is not healthy. So that's when I started basically, if I had an issue with someone, if I had a problem, if I had a concern, I brought it to that person, because I can't sit there and torture myself like that, because it's not good. So that's when I started learning a lot. I started learning a lot about myself, and it's just from relationships to family. Majority of the time, no, that was the reason why. From my insecurity, depression, anxiety, etc., was for family and my relationships. I won't necessarily say friendships, because friendships come and go. Honestly, I really don't have any friends, so it's kind of because you really can't trust people out here. So I really don't have that friend word out here in this world. But honestly, guys, I came a long way. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but honestly, it is a journey getting through that. It is. And sometimes getting through it alone is not good. Sometimes you need someone to talk to. Sometimes you need someone to vent to, just to get it out, just to say it out loud. Sometimes saying things out loud make you feel so much better. And it's I always encourage people to say how you feel no matter what, because you holding it in is not going to help. Due to my experience, recently, I'm not going to tell you, recently, I really had a mental breakdown. I literally blew up, guys. You can tell that I was holding so much baggage in that I literally blacked out and blew up on that person, because that person just made me feel I wasn't enough, and I just kept holding it for years and years and years, and it's just I was done. And I didn't want to go to that extent. I really did not. I didn't want to go to that extent, but sometimes you have to. And it's just when you tell someone you have mental breakdowns, anxiety attacks, depression, they think you psycho. If you have those things, don't think you're psycho. Just don't. Sometimes people have that. And sometimes those things you can't control. You can't. And honestly, as long as you find resources and things to make sure you're good, you'll be fine. But for me, the way I dealt with it is that I started talking. Because me just sitting back, not saying anything was not helping me at all. It was not helping. So if that can help you as well in life by talking to people about what you're going through, then do that. Or find other resources to get you out of it. Because I told you it took me from 14 years old to 23. 14 years old to 23. Maybe you dealt with it longer than me. I don't know. I'm not really sure. But to this day, I'm still kind of going through it, but I'm working on it. I'm way better than I was when I was younger. Like I told you, I'm not perfect. And, you know, usually it can be really hard. It can be so hard. It can be really, really hard. Because I've been through it, and it's like, it's not a good feeling. It's not really a good feeling. It's really not. And it's just that you just have to have that support system who's going to be there and support you with it. Don't have people around you who's going to judge you for it. Just don't. That's toxic. I had people around me who used to judge me who used to think I was fucking crazy. Excuse my language. Oop. They used to think I was crazy. And I used to start thinking I was crazy. Like, is something really wrong with me? Like, do I really need help? But honestly, all I really needed was someone to talk to, for someone to listen. Like, that's all I really needed. And it's just like, just having judgmental people around you while you're going through that mental state is not really helping. Like, you have to have that person who's going to sit there, listen, and be like, okay, actually listen to everything you're saying. They can have their opinion, their feedback, but it has to be genuine. It has to come from a good place. You can't have people saying their opinion that has come from negative. It's not going to help. So, honestly, guys, that's my experience with going through insecurity, depression, anxiety, self-esteem, everything in the book. Like, if you dealt with this before, please let me know in the comments. Like this video if you dealt with it. Like, I would love to know. And it's just like, tell me your story. Like, do like a sentence or two. Tell me your story, how you dealt with it, like how you got out of it. Because these things can be a killer. Sometimes people think like, okay, these things is a joke, but it's really not. People actually suicidal off of these things. So honestly, I was to the point where I wanted to do that. I could honestly talk about that in another video. My next video is going to be about how I felt suicidal at one point. I'll do another video about that. But yeah, but these things are not a joke. But guys, if you have to separate yourself from other people to get yourself together, please do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But yep, guys, I'm just going to wrap up with this video. I just want to give you guys a little gist of my experience about all of those genres and what I was talking about. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Like the channel, hit the comments. I want to know what you've been through. If you dealt with this before, I would love, love, love to hear it. And then I'll be back for another video. Peace.